Hello, everybody. It is Turch here. Kieran is having some technical issues. And while he does that, I thought I'd just let you know that Kieran is completely useless all the time when it comes to this sort of thing. I better start recording. There we go. There we go. Yes, he is completely useless. There are no spoons. We've been over this a million times, but this is Kieran we're talking about. There are definitely no spoons. But I'll let you guys in on a little secret. There might be something very cool coming very soon, but we will see. That will be something that and I will be fixing. And I'll be fixing there. Anyway, how is everybody doing tonight? Lots of while we wait for things like that. Let's keep drinking. Is it legal to drink on the stream? But welcome everybody. Like I said, Kieran is running a little bit late, so I've decided to start the show without him. But we will happily get someone else on the show, like I said on Twitter, if they really want. If they've got a great rant, I think we should open up the floor to invite people on if they're gonna rant. But Kieran is late. He's had some technical issues. He's been warned by not only myself, but by Jess, which is the only way you can get Kieran to do things is to get Jess to yell at him. And yeah, that's that. This is how we start the show, people, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Still technical difficulties, according to his latest message. Late within the margin of error. You know what? He was the one that set up the time of 8 o'clock that we were going to start the show. I wanted to do it yesterday. It was a bit rough yesterday, but I thought we'd do it yesterday, but he postponed it on me. And after all that, here we go. Absolutely. Let's got another. Here we go. Here is the man himself. I am gonna rant about that, Jess. I will definitely rant about that. All right, here we go. Should we add him to the stream? Yeah, all right, I'll add him to the stream.
Fuck. Give me 1 second, hang on. I can't hear you. But I can hear me. Are we live? Oh, hey, everybody. All right. This is good. This is good. I can't hear you.
He's my co-host, the CEO. Everyone else can hear me. It's the person who's always never on time and can't get any of his audio stuff working. There we go. It is Kieran, buddy. I would say how you doing, but you've really screwed the pooch. I thought you would have been 100% ready at this point in time. People want to come. People have been yelling and ranting. They wanted me to start the show. They wanted me to start the show on time, but this is what we've got. We've got you in the chair at the moment. Here we go. We've got Kieran. Oh, okay. Kieran. Okay, 1 sec. Yeah, is that better?
Oh, now I can hear you. For some reason, I can hear myself through the mic, but I can't hear you.
Okay, so this is the quality that we're going to do right now. We are going to. I've got to mute you on the phone here. So okay, so I'm going to put things in perspective for people. I set Kieran up with a great audio setup. He's got the mic. Like, he didn't have to choose the mic. He didn't have to even get the cables. Told him I got the cables for him. Everything was going pretty well. And I told him how to set it all up. And ever since then,
it was working. It's been working fine for a little while. And you know what I blame it on? I use my laptop to plug into the TV to do our little live thing. And every time I plug it back into my computer setup, something's always a little bit different.
I don't know what to say about that. I really don't.
Hey, this is an improvement though, because last time I couldn't even get sound through those headphones.
That's true.
I couldn't even hear me. So we're now,
That's very true. I'm very impressed. But I really don't understand why I have to not only do this internet thing with you, but also call you to get the show.
Well,
out.
now I can hear you, and I can see some comments late within the margin of error. That's correct, Ellis. And I can actually tell you why I was late.
Okay.
Have we done Have we done the intro?
Yeah, I just did the intro.
I missed the music. Can we do it again?
Nah, we can't. We're done. Nah, we're done. I can't do the. You know why I can't do the music again? Because I play the music through my phone, and if I plug my phone in into my interface, we're gonna hear you. We're gonna hear you or me talking through. It's not gonna work, buddy. It's just not gonna work. So that's okay. Why were you late? Are you recording on your end?
Yeah. I missed some of
what
I said though. I wasn't. I've hit record, but some of it's obviously not going to quite sync up.
It's the worst episode yet.
Oh, this is great, people. Welcome. No, I can tell you while I was late. Two things: remote controls and bins. Now we were watching The Sopranos. We're onto the last season here. He's gone, people. Yeah, we were watching The Sopranos, and I won't name names, but someone's ass sat on the remote control and paused the TV.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had timed this that there was 3 minutes from the end of Sopranos to get onto this podcast, which was fine. And then my computer decided it needed to do a restart, and then my audio system didn't quite work.
What a story, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. And then I got yelled at for, putting something in the bin. And I don't know what happens in your household, but if you put something in the bin and it overflows, then you have to put it out. And I clearly wasn't overflowing when I put a bit of rubbish in the bin.
It's a very easy system here at my house because I am the man of the relationship, and I take the rubbish out. It's a very simple system. I know you wouldn't understand it being a woman.
You spilt it. You deal with it.
No. It's just it's my job at the end of the night after we've cooked. Yeah.
He who tops it off drops it off. That's right. That is the rule.
I take out the bins. I don't know. It's one of those things. I should take out the bins, not Jess. Just one of those manly things you learn from being nice and chivalrous. I know that's a big word.
That is a big word for 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Hello, everyone out there in YouTube podcast land.
Yeah,
it's great to have you here for another We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast that is a complete shit show. You've probably already done that. You're drinking Coronas.
I am. I figure I'm not going to get the virus. I might as well enjoy the beer.
But it's going to be miserable for the next 4 days. It's going to be rain, and I saw 9 degrees coming up.
I bought the Coronas on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking them when we were having a chat. I was drinking them on the weekend because it was nice and sunny.
That's right.
I even washed the cars.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're getting the rain. It's always the case, isn't it? That's it. But Kieran, I have this. I have a story for you.
Oh, very good.
Have you ever? Is your mum ever have plans and that she thinks that they're amazing plans, but they're just regular plans?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So, I've got my moccasins died last year. I've had it's like anything.
You must have had those moccasins for a good 10 years.
10, 15, maybe 15. Like they were a good solid. Dweezil ended up giving them a good home.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I was willing to part with them. They were smelly, old, this and that. Probably needed a new pair. But I just couldn't be bothered getting a new pair. So I just got one of those, some cheap pairs from Kmart. But I've always said for next year, I'll get a proper pair of the moccasins.
You can't have, you can't have a cheap pair of moccasins.
No. I just got like those bare feet ones.
What the fuck are bare feet ones?
Oh, I was still doing something.
Ugg boots. Ugg boots. It's where is that?
They're slippers, but they're
Oh, those ones. Oh, yeah. They're all
yeah,
right. They're all right.
that's comfort, right? That's all
Yeah.
good. So I've got one of then I've been going to the I've been breaking curfew because fuck it, right? And I've been going to the park. I've been going to the park with Dweezil, and then I meet up with my parents there. There I also meet up with my brother and his friend that's not his girlfriend, but his friend that is a girl. I also meet up with my auntie and her husband, and even my little cousin sometimes. And we all go to the park and we all walk.
This is the reason. It's people like you and your families that coronavirus is still spreading. Now, it's not necessarily you,
Mhm.
but it's all these meetups.
You know how busy the park was on Saturday? It was packed.
Oh, yeah. It's the unofficial
insane.
meeting ground. No one
Yeah.
officially organizes to meet because
No,
we've got to be separate.
no. Do you
But
organize with one person? Because you can do that. You can organize a meet with one person, but that person invites another person and meets with them. But suddenly you're all together. It's a complicated system. I know you won't get it.
no.
Um,
I know. Primary schools around the neighborhoods, 3:30, 4 o'clock. They're all at the park.
Yeah. So anyway, I get there, Mum, we're talking, and Mum's like, "Oh, Ruby ate your dad's slippers." I've also got to tell you a story about my dad because he did something stupid as well. Anyway, so Mum goes, "Oh,
Ruby's the dog.
Ruby's a dog." Right. First of all, my mum goes, "Oh, I got this. I found this place online that they sell moccasins. I bought some for you, for your dad and your brother, and they're great." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine, Mum. That sounds great." So, do you want moccasins? Do you and Jess want
Oh,
moccasins?
no shit. This must be something that parents do because I've had this exact same phone call about 2 years ago. Ugg boots are on sale.
Yeah, I
You
know.
want
I'm like,
Ugg
"Oh, yeah.
boots?
Do you want them now? I'll buy them for you now." Like, Mum, it's coming to spring. I'm probably not going to wear slippers that often. Maybe just a pair of socks, if that. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, that was 2 weeks ago. This week, when I met up with them, Mum goes, "I've already ordered you and Jess moccasins. They're coming soon. I got them on the internet." I'm like, "Mum, okay, that's just." I love her to death, but she's really having a good time with the buying the stuff online, and she's about to go into school holidays. So, as a teacher, she's having a good time.
She should already
But
be in school holidays.
yeah, she just started it. Just started it there. But you know what? The funniest thing that's happened in quarantine, finally, like, look, my hair's a big mop. Your hair,
Look at it.
Effie hasn't really touched it, But my dad sends me a photo,
Mm-hmm.
and he's decided to cut his own hair. And it's definitely not a good job.
Okay.
But he tried very hard.
It can grow back.
It'll grow back. Look, it's really going to grow back. He's not going to go into the office till next year. We all know that. Everyone's like that at the moment. But the fact that he tried so hard and got very far makes it great.
Do you have
Great.
photos?
I'll send you some afterwards. I should have brought some up so I could show, but I don't want to show my dad on screen. But I'll send you a photo of my dad.
All right, that sounds good. Sounds good. No, very good. So you haven't got free Ugg boots or moccasins.
Well, they're coming.
Why do you go moccasins? Why not Ugg boots?
I find the Ugg boots that I don't know. I don't like them past my ankle. I get too hot otherwise. I'd rather the option. It's easy to put a pair of track pants on.
Mm-hmm.
And moccasins, I feel you can wear moccasins with short pajama bottoms on.
They're actually about to be like shorts, and then you can walk outside.
Comfort. It's always about comfort for me. It's never not about comfort.
Oh yeah, you've got to be comfortable. You've got to be comfortable.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Moccasins. I grew up in Perth, right, and so 19 degrees was cold. And that's Celsius to our American listeners, and moved to Melbourne. And it was the very first thing we had to get moccasins. And I didn't even know what moccasins were.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got nothing exciting about this. So
we can continue on because Jess
talking about feet.
Jess, I know it's your fetish, but that's a different story altogether. Well, actually, I've got a story about feet later on, so we can definitely talk about them. But I've got another rant. I've got a rant.
Oh, very good.
Okay. I think we talked about this as well. I feel like I'm doubling up, but the audience needs to hear it. Tissues that are too big. Now, look, I get hay fever, and it's starting to get the hay fever season. I understand that. And regular sized tissues, I've had regular sized tissues my whole life. And I thought it would be a good idea. And I blame myself for picking up the box of
Mhm,
tissues that are like extra large.
mhm.
That's fine. And then I try them,
For
but they're
extra
just
large
too big.
boogers.
Yeah. For extra large noses, like my Jew nose that I've got here. Look at that bad boy. That's a peak. That's a good peaking. I don't know, beak. That's the word I'm looking for, not peak. But nonetheless, these tissues are like okay. Look, that's the size of a regular tissue,
Hang
right?
on. Yeah.
Normal.
Church,
And then an extra
what
big
you're
one's just
Church, what you're saying is that the tissue is as tall as you.
yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Too big. I can't fit it in my pocket. I need a big
You could
backpack.
It's a blanket. You could wrap yourself in it.
Yes.
It's the equivalent of a weighted blanket, okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly
Hmm.
right. And that's what, it's, you pull out the tissue, and how many times can you actually physically use a tissue? Like, how many times can you blow your nose?
Oh
with
no,
it?
you can
Twice?
fold it. You can fold
Yeah,
it.
like, so you go,
In the
like, you
one
blow once,
it's gotta
you
be in the one.
fold it, and maybe another one, and maybe that's about it.
Mhm.
Maybe two. But if you
Two
fold, yeah.
two or three. Two or three.
Okay, but even if the tissue's slightly bigger, if you fold it, then the snot just goes everywhere. And you fold it again, it's still the same amount of blows you get out of a same single tissue, but it's just bigger and more cumbersome, and then you get less in the box.
Well, why did you buy extra large?
I thought it would be a good idea because I thought maybe it's bigger, it'll catch more snot, but it catches the same amount.
Church, you're younger than me. You've really got to consult me on these things. I'm here to guide you, grasshopper.
Okay.
You make stupid
Well-
things, stupid decisions like buying extra large tissues when you're small. You're small.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
don't
You're
need
right. I
extra
should
large.
stick to the extra large condoms. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Small tissues, large condoms. Done.
Yep. Just make sure you tie it at the end. Right now,
That's not how it works.
I'm just saying you've got a small
When's the
penis.
last time you put on a condom?
I'm just saying it's so big for you that you've got to tie it up. Otherwise,
Maybe
was
for
a bad-
you, buddy, but not for me. Not for the Italiano inside of me. Get some of that sausage.
what do they say? Extra large cars, extra small. Anyway,
Fingers.
fingers,
Little stubby.
fingers.
Yeah.
That's right.
We try our best. Now,
I'm
Jess
feeling
has
out
a-
of. I'm feeling out of whack here. I missed the theme song.
You are. I'm just bombarding you with so much stuff. I'm gonna keep going. Until you stop me. Kieran, Jess was driving around. She gave me a rant to you about, because I knew you like it. Crossing guards and school zones are still running, despite the fact that no school or most of the schools are closed.
Mhm.
And how are crossing guards still an essential service? Just like tram inspectors and ticket inspectors, how are these people still essential? I don't care that they've been booked in and this and that. They're not essential. Get them out of our stuff doing shit.
So what you're saying is that because the streets are now clear, you want to speed on your way to the shops.
Yes, 100%. The quicker I get to the shops, the quicker I can whip around, the quicker I can get back, the less coronavirus I'm going to get.
See, I'm at the other end.
I've been having high speed everywhere, and I have no coronavirus. It proves the faster you go, the less virus you get.
See, I'm at the other end. I want to go really slow. And hear me out, because when I leave the house,
This is why you're always late.
yeah, because we can't go anywhere. So it's like, oh, this is a bit more of an adventure,
I don't want to be around all those people coughing and slurping and doing all those
I can only travel 40 kilometers. Oh no. Church, schools are still.
I'm gonna rant about this then. Speed limits are too fucking slow. Okay, speed limits are based. Initially, speed limits were based off how fast a car could go from 100 kilometers an hour and how quick the brakes would take. If you slammed on the brakes, the distance that it would take to actually physically stop, and that's why we limit our car's speed to 100 kilometers an hour on the freeway, and that's based on cars from the 1940s or 1950s. Do you know how much faster and more adept cars are at braking on a fucking dime? Have you ever seen that Top Gear episode where they test the brake limit speed? Yeah, you've seen it, and that's what's annoying to you now because you know it's true, which means speed limits should be 2 to 3 fucking times faster than they actually are.
What's the slowest car? What's the worst car that is on our roads at the moment? Obviously not a 1940s car.
It's not going to be a 1940s like a Henry Ford crank wheel car.
What are we going to say? 1970s, 1980s?
But even that, it's for 30 years of car innovation in that time. I'm sure we could brake quicker.
So it should just be up to the worst car that we have on the road.
No, we should force people to buy fresher cars and update them accordingly.
Or the government could just give us cars because that's how government works.
We'll talk about that later. No one's using my car at the moment. Everyone can fucking whip it around. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So there you go. Speed limit should be, I don't know, in school zones should be like 80.
School zones, schools are still, even though everyone's from home, they're still operating.
You know why the school zones are still 40?
Why?
Because kids are getting fatter. That's why. Remember when we were kids, we were thin, able-bodied because we didn't play video games all day. We were outside doing stuff.
We could run.
We could run because we could outrun a car coming at 60 Ks or 70 Ks when getting our ball across the road. Nowadays, kids are too fucking fat. That's why we have to slow down. That's the real reason. This is a conspiracy. This is the fat people uniting to get us to slow down. You know, and yes, my partner's card from 1999.
Hang on a second.
BMW.
Hang on a second. You're from Italy. Now, if I'm not correct, there are
no rules in Italy.
In Italy, everyone drives slowly, and then you can't all go on the road around this corner because it's a one way. So you get out, you chat, you pull out your coffee machines, you make a latte, you get the deck chair out, you chat, you have a cigarette, and then
that's
you continue
why there are
on.
economies in the hole. That's why there's no economy. That's why I moved to Australia.
So you should be in favour of slow speed limits.
Germans. I've been on the Autobahn, mate, and it is a work of fucking art.
Like, Turch, I've been to the Northern Territory, and they have open speed limits.
See? Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Because our cars, have you ever gone past 150 in your car?
No, I don't even know sure if it goes to 150.
You've got a Lancer. You should be right. Speeding around. How much quicker could you get to work if you could do an extra 60 Ks an hour?
Oh, but I wouldn't want to because I generally listen to like an audiobook and I want to listen to it.
But you can still listen to an audiobook.
The faster I go, the less I listen to.
But you get there quicker.
I don't care about getting there.
Then you get home quicker.
I'm a government employee.
The less time you're in commuting mode, the more time you have for your own personal things.
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, now you're not.
I've got nowhere to be.
If this doesn't... Well, what if you're going to have to drive here to do the podcast?
No, I'm going to make you come.
Do you want to do it at 115, 130 kilometers an hour?
Nah. Listen, like I said, this is a good podcast.
This is why when we go go-karting, you always lose. Oh, just drift around let's slowly go around the corners here.
Hey, drifting's fun.
It is fun, but you're going to go fast to drift because otherwise you just stop.
Do you know last time I was actually going to beat... Because last time we went go-karting, we went twice. We had two goes at it, right?
We did.
And the first time it was just like 8 of us on the track and it was brilliant. And I had figured out...
It was 50 degrees outside.
Yeah. And I had figured out exactly how I was going to drive. Like, because I was like, all right, I know this go-kart. I know what we're doing. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And this second time when we get out there, I'm going to absolutely get a PB because I was getting faster and faster and every single lap. And then in the second race we had, there's something like 25 people out there.
Yeah.
And it really shitted me because there was one person that was like blocking me the entire way. He just wouldn't let me get past him.
Well, I should have gone faster.
Was,
What's the difference to you? You go slow anyway.
no, go-karts is different.
Oh, go-karts are different. Why?
Hey, Turch, I'm a responsible. You know what? Your license should be taken away. You wanna drive and kill people.
No, I want to get off the road as fast as I can. The faster I get off the road, the less chance I have an accident. That's science. You can't deny that.
No, I've got this. You want the mass murdering of people with your driving.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So Kieran has a crush on the potential Lord Mayor of Melbourne. Let's start with that. I'm going to start that off as the premise, and we can go from there. So how about you talk about it? I've been yelling for 25 minutes.
All right. Ever since I started paying tax, fuck me, I've become conservative.
Yeah.
Right?
Normal.
It only took till last year. Yeah. And so that just shows you how long I've been dodging paying tax. And then I think one day I woke up and said to church, I'm like, do you know how much we're taxed? This is bloody unbelievable. And so turned quite quickly conservative, and then I've quickly upgraded my view on the world and history of the world and everything that's going on. And the socialist parties, or just socialism in general, fascinates me. Just absolutely fascinates me. I just go, how the hell could you be a socialist? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't. Ideas sound great, but then you think about practicalities. Nah, they just don't work. Mm-hmm. Capitalist, entrepreneur, right? Freedom, all of that loving stuff. Anyway, along comes the Victorian Socialists, I think maybe 2 years ago at the last election, which I had this really, really witty line because they went to hand me a flyer when I went in to vote. And I was like, worked in Venezuela. And the Liberal guy just laughed, handing out it was quite funny. You should have been there. Anyway, I've tried to get a few socialists on this podcast to talk about socialism.
I'm very proud of you.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, because you can't hear what's in the microphone. I'm just saying I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thanks. Anyway, so I've contacted like 7 socialists. None of them want to come.
Why is it easier to get a furry, a flat earth guy, and a guy that wears diapers on the show? Why is it easier to get someone like that on the show than a socialist?
I don't know. I don't know.
That baffles me. Baffled.
Anyway, we did a bit of a review of the Red Flag podcast, which
we should do episode 2 of that.
We should, because I think we might be on the socialist blacklist, the black book.
I think we're on porn stars blacklist as well. Actually, I have an idea as well. I'll talk. Continue.
So I think we're on their black book. But I would love to get if you're a socialist, come on the podcast. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
We don't bite.
No.
We've had a flat earther on the podcast.
It was good. I'll take him back on the show anytime.
I know, it was good. Anyway, I see this post and it just fucking infuriates me. Because I see University of Melbourne's Vice Chancellor calls for mass killing of the elderly so he can get university profits roaring again.
Perfect.
And I'm sitting here going, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way a university vice chancellor is going to be calling for mass killings.
Not only that, universities don't make profit, do they? Because it's a federal government organization.
Well, no, they do. They do run a profit. University, yeah. Like University of Melbourne had a $1 billion profit, which once again it sounds huge, but their operating expenses are just fucking massive.
Yeah, well, still $1 billion.
Oh, yeah, but when you're running, I don't know, so many research institutes and professors are expensive.
Yeah,
get the title.
Actually, a lot be 50 to 60% cheaper.
Fuck no. There is no incentive for me to do my job if that's the case.
Yeah, well, for the love of it, that's why you do your job.
Look, you gotta dream for that 200k.
Who needs food when you get to look at autistic people every day and make them fill out surveys?
So anyway, the University of Melbourne Vice Chancellor calls for mass killings of the elderly. And I just went, this is wrong. So I read the article, and that's nothing what the article said.
No.
And universities have, and I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried because I'm like, I don't want Australia to go down what's happening in America.
No.
With, having speakers coming and people protesting and throwing violence
it's already kind of happening.
It's nowhere near as extreme as what's happening in America.
Oh, what's his name? The Milo Yiannopoulos guy.
Mm.
He was meant to do a lecture at university, I think.
Oh, maybe, but he still went around and spoke, and there weren't massive riots.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
There weren't massive riots, but so I just went, that's just blatant. I read the article. That's not what it's called for. And if you read the article, he says something along the lines of basically there needs to be a discussion. Here's some starting topics, or here's some points for you to suggest. And once again, I read this and I saw Kath Larkin's post because she's running for Lord Mayor. So I think anyone who has a public position is open to scrutiny.
Of course.
Whether you're a religious figure, which I've scrutinized plenty of them in the past, or you're running for Lord Mayor. So I made a comment.
Or you're on a podcast.
Or you run a podcast.
And you happen to be a porn star and you do a shit podcast, and I can scrutinize you and should be able to punch up because apparently your show's only 4 times bigger than mine, which is
not very big.
No.
Anyway, so I said, Kath, there's nothing in that article that suggests for mass killings of the elderly. I would hope for a higher standard for someone running for Lord Mayor. Anyway, I texted you. I said, I need some backup here. I need I need someone else to chip in because this looks like this could be a bit of fun. I feel like we're trolling.
Well, it's only trolling if excuse me. It's only trolling if she responds.
Well, she hasn't. She hasn't responded.
No, I have a feeling that she's illiterate. Now, I have no evidence to do that, apart from the fact she read that article and thought that guy wanted to mass kill old people.
Well, this is what they do. I've been looking at the bloody socialist posts. They seem to take the worst intent of anything, and then they just spin. And once again, I don't get this people before profits.
Yeah,
I really want someone to explain this because I'm like, how the hell do you run anything if you don't have profits?
Look, that I understand what they're trying to do. It's like a utopian type of world, right? I do my job because I love it, not for the financial benefit that I gain from it. That's why in their socialistic haven, you become a doctor not because of the money or the respect. You do it because you want to help people, and you become a garbage man because you love the job and you want to do that as a career and this and that, and that's fine. But the thing is, most people, more than 50%, are motivated to become better than not only what they think they can be, but be better off than what their parents are. That's what the aim is anyway, to be better. And the only way you can do better is that if you reach for those jobs, aim for higher education, this and that. But all those things take time and effort. And the time and effort that you put into something, you should hope to get a higher reward for. That risk-reward type of thing, that entrepreneurial spirit that you always talk about, right?
And it's like I said to some other people, and what you've done. I made the decision to study for basically a decade of my life.
Uh-huh.
I could have left. 3 years in and got a job, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
And
right.
I made the sacrifice of not actually being paid a full-time salary, and then not being in a position where I could potentially have bought a house maybe a couple of years ago, and that's delayed for me. but I'm
Mhm.
actually absolutely okay with that.
Because of the decisions that you made. And for
Hmm.
me, after 3 years, got a job, graduate program, moving forward, keep moving jobs into higher positions, more responsibility. But the more responsibility, the longer hours I work. It's not a 9 to 5 job anymore. It's actually a lot bigger than that, and you end up making more money. You
Hmm.
know, but I've put in 10 years since leaving high school. To even before, even during high school, to get into the university
And when
position
you
that I
left
want.
high school, I'm sure you wouldn't have been able to make the decisions that you can make it work right now.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
Hmm.
because there's 10 years of experience, and whether it's in finance or now I'm doing procurement or payroll, or all the jobs that I've done in my past to lead me into this sort of project management world that I work in, right? But I don't think they understand that. That's the important aspect of their thinking. A person is not going to do something unless they love it. And a lot of these people that are socialistic in nature have want to focus on less business orientated, less, I guess. Um, Most engineers and accountants and science people are not socialists.
Hmm.
I guess a more artistic crowd would say, yes, this is a great thing to do because then they can get paid lots, what they think is a lot of money, or a lot of the output of their artwork potentially, or music, uh, because it's like benefiting society in one way or another. But they don't understand, like, only the best people have successful careers in that.
Oh, which
Or
takes which once again takes time and effort. It's very it's see this is what I don't get, and maybe it's because I'm sort of juiced into the market. There's people that I know in the startup world that it might have taken them 6 or 8 years of
Hmm,
trial and error.
yeah.
Trial and error. I'm trying this. This isn't working. I'm trying this. They've bled money. They've lived basically in that poverty line. Well, they keep trying and trying and trying and trying, and then all of a sudden, that might be year 6. It might be year 10. It might be year 12, and then bam, they've figured it out, and then they've made millions.
Hmm.
And it's sort of like, and I think that's really great. But people just sort of see the they've just made millions.
Yeah,
They
they
must
don't
be
see the work.
they must be crooks, and it's like you just don't know how long that person's been working at it for,
Hmm.
and failing and failing and failing.
So going back to the socialism aspect of this, I think, again, it's like, what do they think they're going to be after this socialist? Let's just say this socialist revolution happens, right?
Hmm.
With your skill set, let's just say someone's a journalist, right, or studied arts. What job would they fit into in a socialistic society? I don't know. You would be able to continue to do your job in a socialistic society. Continue
Oh,
teaching.
but you look at the socialistic societies. No, researchers don't have freedom of speech in
Yeah,
socialistic societies,
and
which
what
is
I do.
which is one of the biggest things. Which is I'm allowed to say potentially. This is why tenure in America was brought in. Tenure in
Yeah,
Australia is different. This is why tenure was brought in to protect academics over there, to make claims that are potentially controversial, and that their freedom of speech is upheld, and then they don't have the risk of losing their job.
yeah, but that's an important type of thing to have.
Mm.
But I don't understand. My biggest thing with socialism
I just don't
is,
know how you get innovation in socialism.
well, that's the whole point. Like, it's like you know what almost socialistic society would be in a perfect world of socialistic societies.
Hmm.
And I don't even know if this is a good example, but it's the only example I could think of where it almost could be perfect, is the Amish community.
Mhm.
I don't think they really have much connection to the outer American population. I might be wrong, but they trade within themselves. They grow their own food. They're completely off the grid when it comes to electricity. and they do everything themselves, and they don't, and there might be some selling and bartering and all that sort of stuff, but the jobs that they do because that they love it.
And that's fine if you want to be an what is it? Amish?
Amish, yeah. But in the same sense, like they've chosen that, but they're so exclusionary.
Mm.
They're not going to allow someone to come in there and go, oh, but I might use a little bit of electricity. But then no one can go in there and just be like, I'm just a painter. All I do is paint art. Because they're going to go, no, get in the fucking fields and help us plow the fields.
Mm.
Because they're farmers at the end of the day. They're self-sufficient farmers.
Oh, which is fine. Which is them. But if you want to live in the bloody real world, it's capitalism is the game.
Well, it's the logical conclusion of economic the exchange of goods and services.
Well, no, what it comes down to is providing value.
Yeah.
If you provide value, you are rewarded.
Yeah, exactly right. And some people across the board are worth more than other people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're right. We should be killing all the 90-year-olds because that's the only way we're going to get the universities to be profitable again. Kieran, I completely agree with you. You've changed my mind.
Yeah. At the same thing, universities run medical programs, right? And medical programs lose money.
Yeah, of course.
There is nothing in a medical program. Universities realize
Medicare is the biggest hole on the government books that could be.
Right, but even a university's, and I'm sure socialists before they want more mental health, right? More mental health programs.
Yeah.
But a postgraduate psychology degree costs universities money. There is nothing in there where they make profits.
I don't even know what post-grad degree would actually would benefit the university. Maybe in biology or chemistry. Maybe.
So there are sections that are very, very profitable for the universities, but there are also sections of it where they just they don't make profits. And universities are there to I look at this vice chancellor in his comments and I thought, good, start the discussion, because we should be having discussions about, because I look at this and I go, all right, the socialists just want everyone to still stay locked in so we don't spread this virus. I'm sure 9 months in, we've got to A, understand the problem, and then B, there's probably multiple solutions.
Yeah.
Is it the fact that you put your hand up and you go, I feel like I'm vulnerable, and then as a society, we help those that say I'm vulnerable, and everyone else can continue on with their life if they don't want to be vulnerable, if they don't think they're vulnerable. Is it that we do something else for all the elderly in the nursing homes, so the rest of us can get on with our lives? There's got to be multiple solutions to this.
Look, I read that article and understood it as like, look, at the end of the day, he was almost saying, what is the value? It wasn't valuing. It was going in a model. What is the flow-on effect impact of certain decision making, and using an economic tool to help that discussion, right? And that was just a basis. And then he was like, that's just a tool to say what would be best practice in a perfect world. And then there's the moral and ethical aspects to it. And of course, me being a non-ethical person whatsoever, or moral person whatsoever, I'm just like, no, the best solution is the best solution. Don't care how many people die because that's it. No, of course not, right?
Yeah,
but in the same sense, I think the nuance in that is not something that they understood, right? But going on from that, I remember that you showed me a post, or Jess showed me a post of theirs, and they were talking about taking houses owned by people that were currently vacant and allowing homeless people to occupy those homes until some time.
Until there was no,
like,
yeah.
And I'm like, that's like, what would be the purpose of saving and investing? what the risk that you've taken on to use that as an investment, whether you're offsetting or doing whatever, you've taken that on as a person, and now you're not like you don't get any actual benefit from taking on that risk. Not that you should. Every risk is going to pan out. I mean, you can risk it all in the stock
Oh,
market, but
but like I understand. So I understand this point once again. To be homeless, it must be terrible,
Mhm.
right? It must absolutely it must be terrible. And how do we support someone who's homeless? And what role? Like, it's what role does the government have in that? Are there private versus see, if you had an investment property and the government said, you know what, hey, would you allow, we know there's a number of homeless people, we're willing to support them, you've got an investment property, we're willing to subsidize this program, right? Maybe that's a way forward.
but
And
okay, and that's the risk. That
the investor then makes that decision.
Yeah, but the risk it would be is having a homeless person in your investment.
Right,
Would
but
I
that's
have them? I would probably not have them if I had the choice.
right. But this is the thing, you're not being told that you've got to do that. And when you look at the homeless things, you've got to differentiate between whether it's like someone actually on the street versus there's like what would be considered homeless, like mum with two kids,
Mhm.
who's like couch surfing. You've got someone who's couch surfing. So there's people who live in their cars but still work. And I always look at these situations and go, how can we? And this is part of my research as well. How do we not? How do we stop a revolving door of homelessness? How do we make that sure that person can go on and get employment and stay in employment? Because I would rather that person get into a house and be able to keep the house rather than being kicked out of the house.
It's a very fine line, Kieran, and I know that people say it doesn't work, but it's a very fine line because some people are just not willing to actually work. And if you offer them a job,
Hmm.
if it's like at McDonald's and it's minimum wage, they won't go to work.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's some people that do that, but there's also people that will work.
Oh yeah.
And to me, it's if the person is willing to work, and how can we support them? And I mean, I'm part of a research program that's looking at refugees that come to Australia, and they're paired up with an elderly person who lives in the community, and they're also paired up with a family in the community. And the project is 5 years.
Mhm.
The elderly person and the general family have to commit to supporting this refugee family for 5 years. And the support isn't financial. The support is, how do I get a bus ticket?
Yeah.
And then, a year later, it might be, how do I do a
You're absolutely right, Alice. We don't care
yeah.
about this. This is super, super boring. Um, this is far too serious. Jason's here from Mixed Media Forest. We're going to have him on this
Oh,
Saturday.
yes.
So absolutely stick around for him. He's going to be fantastic. So instead, we're going to talk about some crazy news that I found during the week. Kieran, I know you
Yes.
have a foot fetish, so let's talk about that. Apparently,
I fucking hate feet.
apparently, Kim Kardashian has been getting all these messages because about her feet, because there's this rumor going around that she that she has 6 toes.
Wouldn't we know this from like photos? Wouldn't she wear like sandals?
Well, that's the thing. So she
Did she get a toe implant?
So to stop the people from saying that she has 6 toes, she posted a photo of her feet in sandals to say, I don't know why people want to see this, but I don't have 6 toes on my feet. Here is a picture of my feet. But people are still thinking that it's photoshopped. And it's still, she has 6 toes and she's keeping it a secret.
Or you could Photoshop and put 6 toes on it.
Look, just like the flat earth, unless I get someone on here who's a foot fetishist, I don't know what's going on. I will never understand how people can get foot jobs.
A foot model. Do you know my podiatrist? Is that the foot one?
Yeah.
Said that I could be a foot model.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. What is it like? Is it the one on the cigarette packs? Remember that one? It's like this ganger in his foot.
Apparently, I've got a good arc.
Ah, arch.
Arc? I don't know. I was 12.
When do we get the 6-toe Snapchat filter? That's what I want too. I want that too. That's finally I can get my freaky foot fetish on all the time. But that was a little bit of news. It's just interesting. Did you see the video of Kanye West pissing on his Grammy?
No.
It was great. You should have.
I should totally watch that.
Oh, he hates Universal Music or One Music Group because they're screwing him on his contract, and he also is trying to get Taylor Swift's music credit writing something or other because what's his name, Lloyd Braun owns them now. So every time that she plays her own song, she has to pay a royalty to him.
Oh,
yeah, it's great. It's okay. Funnily enough. I think Paul McCartney has to do that too. One of the songs he plays is owned by someone else, just the way that publishing sort of works. So he plays
this is great. There's this guy who owns this, but they own that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So basically, I'm trying to explain it, but my brain is not working too good today.
I'm out of alcohol.
He can play a song, and then he has to pay the publisher to play the song, but he's under the contract of the publisher. So he pays the publisher and the publisher pays him a part of the total amount.
Do you know what? He needs a CEO like the one from We Only Do One Take podcast. Would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, he would never allow him to make money. You're absolutely right. What can I say? You only got some news.
I do. Have you ever seen a tiger before?
I have seen a tiger at the zoo.
Okay. Cool. Tennessee tiger sighting was a case of mistaken identity, wildlife officials say. In Knoxville, officials say a tiger sighting in Knoxville was a likely case of mistaken identity. Do you want to have a guess?
We are talking about that on the show. Jesus, titty tap dancing tortoises.
Do you want to have a guess at what it is?
What? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was reading Jason's comment. As for foot jobs, I was a doubter until I met someone good at it. What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm talking
about tigers here. A spokesperson for the East Tennessee region said that they received a call a couple of days ago in the King Sports area saying they saw a tiger. An officer responded, and the cat, which was still on site, was actually a bobcat.
Oh, classic mistake. Classic mistake. I've done it before. Go to the zoo. Go. That bobcat.
It's a bobcat. It's a tiger.
It's a tiger. That would be the elephants. That would be the elephants. Yeah, look, some people are just. Do
you know when I was in the fire brigade, we had someone call up 000 and reported a fire, and we investigated it.
Can we roll back? You weren't in the fire brigade.
I was in the fire brigade. I was
a volunteer. You weren't. You were not a firefighter. You were a volunteer firefighter. That's two completely different.
Oh, whatever. Get your hand off it, Daryl. When I was fine. I will be technical here. When I was a volunteer firefighter.
Thank you.
Who belonged to the St. Andrews Fire Brigade.
What a man. What a man. He even did. You should see he actually did. I don't know if anyone didn't want to tell anybody this, but he actually once there was a fire truck that got bogged and he called it in.
Have I told you this on the podcast?
You said that on the podcast 3 times. 3 separate times. Yes, you have. You have. And it never gets old.
Maybe the listeners want to hear it.
Oh, go back and find it on another episode. Listen to our episodes again. No, you did a sexy fireman's photo shoot. I remember that.
Oh, there we go. Anyway, I'm telling a story here. Can you not get bogged down in details? A person called in 000, the equivalent of 911,
Mhm.
a fire, and we attended, and it turned out to be fairy lights in the distance.
That's pretty good. You got to do something
Mm,
with your time.
mm.
At least it's better than finding out the. At least you're not an arsonist. And of all the
No.
things that could be, because I know a lot of like people try to join the fire brigade because they are arsonists.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think when there's 50,000 volunteers, one of them has to be an arsonist.
Well, you got to do something with your time. What else are you gonna do?
Do you know what? I was known. Everyone wanted me on the truck, right? Because if
What
we
are you,
would go,
Kramer at the back doing the directions?
because if we went onto the truck, no, because I was one of the very few people that was trained in breathing apparatus, which worked out really well. Because the time I needed to put it on and being trained, I got to breathe nice fresh air rather than all that pollution. But also, I would always call in for the food. You know, we'd been at a job, we would be tired, we would need
You missed your
catering,
calling in life. You missed your calling in life.
and
You
that
should have
might.
been. You should have been one Italian and
Uh-huh.
two an events manager. And
Well, it was very easy because we had an auxiliary. You'd call them up and be like, "Oh, look, we've been at this job. It's been very
oh, but
tiring. We're
that's not organizing anything. That's
we're
just
gonna need
calling a.
we're gonna
That's the
need."
auxiliary. You
Well,
didn't
people,
go. Okay, we've got 400 people here. We're gonna need so many things. It's just like, ah, we're at a job. Send food.
people didn't want to do it, but I knew that not only did we have the pub supporting us if need be, we also had what's one of the bakeries, coffee
Yeah.
shop. Oh, I would call it in all the time.
Is this bribery or is this like legal
Oh
or
no,
were they
absolutely.
paid for their services?
Absolutely legal. And then I went on to do peer support, still do. And we've got an unlimited checkbook. So all of mine are over lunch provided by the CFA.
Well, I'm glad that our taxpayer money is going somewhere important, and that's why the pounds have been packing on your end during lockdown. I can tell.
Hey,
Uh,
hey,
I,
I've been
yeah,
exercising.
I'm very proud of you. Okay,
Thank you.
how's this one? A New Jersey homeowner nearly loses her house because she owed 6 cents in back taxes.
They'll get you. They'll
Uh,
get you.
A 90-year-old woman who suffered from Alzheimer's was close to losing her home after the nickel and penny she owed in the 2019 in taxes owed in 2019 accrued to more than $300 in interest.
Fuck, 6 cents turned into $300.
Yeah. So she did her taxes last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, she only owed 6 cents in back taxes, and 6 cents, great.
Wait, six
Um,
cents over a year turned into $300?
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So here we go. I'll continue on. The 91 lots of grades. Lisa took to TikTok to tell that her mother was close to being kicked out of her home after the 6 cents she owed accrued to $300 in interest. Sorry, the town put the home up for sale the same day that she found out about the debt, and she has Alzheimer's. Apparently, the tax collector called her because when I talked to him, he said he realized that there was something wrong that she didn't understand. Naturally, it's embarrassing that the town would put someone's home up for sale over 6 cents. So this is not even federal. This is like the
And
state putting it up.
it's $300. That's like nothing.
I don't get it, but like, you imagine like you don't pay 6 cents. Like
I rang up
that's
the government last year and realized I didn't pay like $40.
yeah.
Right? Rang them up and they said, "Oh, look, it's not even worth our time investigating."
It wouldn't even be worth 6 cents. Is not even a rounding. Like you don't even count the cents. You'd stop at like the thousands of dollars.
Hmm.
Like you're dealing with $1 billion. If you're, no, you know what? This is like
This is your people, Church. This is your people. This is accountants.
I'm out of the.
This is your people.
Game, I'm out of the accounting game, buddy. I've been out of accounting for like a month now. Thank fuck. But
Oh, a month.
no.
It's your people.
This is no. Okay, there are a couple of streams of accounting. There's accountants like me who are
Can we
just
not get
loud and
bored down?
obnoxious.
Look. We're at an
Then,
hour.
wait,
We haven't got through our stories because we went on a sort of tangent about socialism, and now we're
then,
getting through our stories, and now you're going to bore the people with
no,
tax.
I'm
This is
going to
going to be
make a
Alice.
joke.
Tune out. This is going to be 20 more minutes.
I'm going to make the joke. Okay,
No, he's
there are
going to talk about
auditors,
tax for 20
and,
minutes.
and then there are tax people, and then the auditors are the worst. And the first year auditors that you come in, they're the people like, oh, I found a discrepancy of $10.52, and everyone else just goes, yeah, don't worry about it. It's like, oh, it's obviously fraud. And that's why they'll never succeed, because they don't understand that nobody cares.
You got to work on that joke.
Yeah, well, you sort of ruined me halfway through. I had it better written in my head.
I did. I thought you were going to talk, but honestly, I thought you love tax. I thought you were going to talk about tax.
Oh, look.
Hey, everybody, it's just me. Where did you go, Church? Oh, anyway. Man shoots doctor after ejaculating during prostate exam. A 56-year-old man from Florida shot his doctor twice on the chest, close range for giving him an orgasm during a prostate exam. Milo Johnson fled the state of Florida on the day of the incident, which took place on August 22nd. Luckily, the doctor he shot survived the gunshot wounds, and he had now fully recovered. Milo, who was a car salesman, had disappeared without trace. He's now a fugitive, and some people think he probably has left the United States. The doctor he shot says he'd been doing a prostate exams for over 30 years, and men come all the time during the prostate, and it has nothing to do with sexuality.
My favorite part about this story, I did read this story. Right? My favorite part about this is like the guy comes, right?
Yeah.
And like, I need, like, this is ridiculous. So he's not even wearing pants. And finds his gun. Instead of putting on his pants, he's obviously gone, I need to shoot this guy as fast as possible, right?
Could have been wearing
I'm
a holster.
definitely not gay. Aren't holsters on your pants buckle? Your belt?
Don't the cops have the one in the,
So he's got a jacket on with a holster up here, and he's just gone, oh, and came all over the place, whipped out a gun and gone bang.
Yeah.
Pantsless. He killed him Donald Duck style without pants, and then he's waddled over because he's probably got semen all over the floor or something like that. And his ass is probably lubed up as well, and then he's had to wipe off, put his pants back on, and go and
he could have used the extra large tissues.
He could have used some extra large tissues. Finally, a use. Maybe I'll put them in the bathroom or the bedroom, right? Some gay magic. That is some gay magic. I'll tell you that much. How old do you have to be to get a prostate exam? When do men have to start getting prostate?
I don't know. Hopefully, I think we've still got another 15 years. When?
Okay, that's good.
To get
it'll be less for you. It'll be less for you.
I'm
only going to trust one nurse to do my prostate exam. Yep. I like that. I feel sorry for that guy because now he wanted to sue him and then he shot him and now he's on the run.
Look, apparently, according to a very reputable source, at 40.
40? Another 10 years for you, buddy.
Those with more than one first-degree relative who had prostate cancer, 45 for men who are at high risk, so African Americans and men with a first-degree relative, and age 50 for average risk.
Average risk. All right, 50 years old. And then how many? Is it like breast exams? You have to do it to yourself every. Check yourself for lumps. Oh, that's what I want. Is that a thing you do? What's going on with my camera here? There we go.
This is a real shit show, people.
This is the worst episode ever.
This is the point where we should get our nurse online so we can ask these questions.
That's true. Maybe we'll do an episode of Ask Our Nurse. So if you've got any medical questions, send in your pictures and your then we'll just ask the nurse.
That's right.
Is that like Dr. Fraser Crane type advice? Like, is that advice you can actually legally go off, or is this more just for entertainment purposes?
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, good.
A nurse has said yes. That's really good to see. Thank you.
No rashes. What's the point? I want this to be like our equivalent season of like an equivalent couple of episodes of embarrassing bodies. That's what I want. Anyway, so this is my idea.
Mhm.
October is coming up,
Mhm.
and to help everybody, because November is no fap November. You know that. I know that. Every man knows that, right? We're all good. But leading up to November, what we should do is we should have a Wanktober.
Wanktober. Okay.
Wanktober. And I think we should get certain special guests on the show, recurring guests, or potentially new guests, depending on what they want to do. And just like me and my cousin did on the show and reviewed a Porn Stars podcast. Each week, we should review a Porn Stars podcast
For the month of
for
October.
for every once a week for the month of October. It's like 4 shows, 5 shows with just like, you know, doing a bit of our regular stuff, and then we review a podcast by a porn star. What do you think about that?
This sounds excellent.
So I already have a few that I've found. I'll send you some. You can choose. Like, you're gonna have to listen to all of them, get clips and stuff like that. It's gonna be fine.
Well, this is why we need these speed limits, so I can drive and listen to them.
That's true. That's true. Well, you don't have to drive anywhere. You can just listen to them at home.
I've got to be doing something, you know.
Yeah. Have a wank. Get
Wank and listen.
Get your stamina up. The more you ejaculate, the healthier your prostate will be.
Oh, I might have to come over and get those large tissues.
Well, I'll mail them to you. I'll mail them to you one at a time. You know, every time you're finished, give me a call. And that way I'll know to replenish your stock.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, very good. And with that, people, I think we're going to wrap it up. For all your wanking needs, make sure you follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you'd like to send us some hate, and SoundCloud as well. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, a death threat, or a rant, or if you'd ever like to come on the show for ranting purposes, record it on your phone or just email us at weonlydoonetakePodcast@gmail.com. A wank a day for a healthy prostate. That's our new slogan.
Woohoo!
Through the month of Wanktober. I think that's a perfect.
Jason, we're
way.
looking forward to having you on the podcast.
Absolutely. On Saturday.
On Saturday.
4 o'clock on a Saturday for us. We're going to be drinking heavily. I think I don't know, that's late at night for you. Maybe we can make it a drinking show. I don't know how we're going to do that, but I'll work it out. Yeah, that'd be good for us.
That
So
would
we
be.
can start early and finish even later. For all your wanking needs, stay tuned for Wanktober. But obviously, email us at we only do one take podcast @gmail.com. Kieran, thank you so much. You know what? No, you came late.
No. Hear me out, Church. The podcast time was changed. Yada yada yada. Anyway. Hey.
I'm trying to get the theme tune going because someone had to make me unconnect my phone. We'll see you next Thursday.
By the way, bonus article. Teachers say some parents drink smoke and appear half dressed in That's it.
Well, that's pretty good. What a fucking shit show of an episode. Unless you're editing this one.
That'll be fun. It'll be good.
That'll be good. All right, buddy. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye.